Hey everyone, it's Matt, aka Tech Ranger, and today we're going to be taking a look at a weather mod for Skyrim. I wanted to do a full video on this one, that way I can kind of go through all the settings and show you what this mod has to offer. This is actually from a mod author that we've looked at a few times here on the channel. In fact, I'm going to mention one of the mods that this is compatible with as well. This isn't a new mod, but I haven't checked it out yet. Feel free to drop a like at the end if you enjoyed the video and comment down below with those questions. With that out of the way, let's take a look at Dawn V2 Weathers and Atmospheres for Skyrim on the Xbox. Dawn Weathers was always a mod that I wanted to try, but never quite got around to. It's full of features. It's got everything from just weather in general to even adding textures and sounds to the mod. Textures and meshes for the weathers, not like actual ground textures, which is why it's over 100 megabytes. But in this section, we're going to go over some of the features of it and then show you some examples of what you can expect if you decide to download the mod. So Dawn Weathers will actually add a ton of different weathers in the game, and it says there's like 100, but even the description mentions that this is technically true, but there are a lot of variations of those weathers that are added. And the weathers actually change per region. So for example, here we have Markarth, and I gotta say with the sun kind of peeking over the mountain, the visuals here are pretty crazy. This is in the morning, so it's pretty early on, but if we fast forward a few hours, you'll see that everything gets a lot brighter. And this is because I was testing out the cathedral presets and I want a brighter look to my game. However, I think I overshot it a little bit. I brightened the image too much, so some of the mountains look a little desaturated, which is not a great look. Looks a lot better at dusk, but you can tweak this a little bit. So to do that, go ahead and pull up your menu and pull up the powers, select the cathedral meditation option, and then you'll have the power to actually change these presets. Worldview is actually going to contain the presets to actually change the visual look of your game, so you can actually mix and match these if you want. So a little bit different than just like the straight presets from something like RTD Weathers or Mythical Ages. That next option is called Seasonal Perspective, and you can actually change the seasonal variation of the weather if you want. You can just select that option, and basically what that does is it changes the weather in the game no matter where you are to actually match the season. The different regions have different weathers attached to them, so I'm going to go with that one, but you can use the seasonal variation if you want. Example of this, while Morthal generally snows, it was winter in my game, so even just going to dusk, it was still really hard to see anything. Putting the seasonal perspective at no change will actually revert this to where you can actually just experience weathers as you would in the different regions. So much like other weather mods that have this function, you're not locked into the seasonal weather if you don't want it. There's also a nocturnal sight option, which will actually change how much you can see at night. I love the way Riften looks at nighttime with this mod, but you can change it to where you can see more or less depending on your preference. This can also change depending on what weather is currently going on, but the dark option is pretty dark. Keep in mind with this one, if you go and wait another hour, it's just going to get darker out. If you choose Enlighten, it can still be dark, but those light sources will have a little bit more light. For nights, I kind of prefer the default option. The next setting is Interior Vision, which is basically just that, but inside instead, so you have the same settings. You can change this setting, however, I found that the clear option, the default one, seemed to work fine for me. It kind of lines up with my thoughts on the nocturnal sight option. Now, a place like Solitude has a lot of color in it, so I wanted to see how the weather is there, and I actually went in 8 a.m. in the mornings, and it looks really cool with the sun. The volumetric God rays that are actually included with this mod look really good here, and they stand out, no pun intended. And I think as you go later in the day, since this region has some clear weather, everything looks really bright and sharp, so I don't feel the need to change any more settings. While we're talking about cities and how there's different weathers in different regions of the game, another example is that Riften is generally a warm area in terms of colors, so there's more fall colors. However, it is super gloomy right now. Now, if I just wait a day or wait a decent amount of time, the weather changes and all of a sudden it's clear, and because everything clears up, you see the warmer colors that you're used to. And then the nights there, they bring a little bit of that warmer tone with the lights in the windows and the lighting in general, and then the 4K galaxies just make it look so good. The last option in these presets is the climate option, and you can choose somber, which will actually increase the likelihood of like snow and rain in the game. So obviously if you're in a place where it's going to snow a lot, then it's still going to snow, but this will increase the likelihood of those weathers. And to round this mod out, we have the sound options in the mod itself. So we have a mod like Audio Sound Effects Overhaul that we've looked at before, also by Clofus, which is compatible with this mod, but Dawn adds its own sounds to the weathers in the game, just concerning the outside weathers, nothing inside. So you have those options on top of something like Audio Sound Effects Overhaul if you use that. You can change the levels of all of these, but here are some clips with me not yapping so you can actually hear the sounds of the mod. And that should just about cover it for this video. I know the original Dawn is still actually up on Bethesda.net, but I hope this video serves as a good overview under 7 minutes. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.